The stock market is all it takes is for someone high up in the business to say something stupid and they have control over your money. In private money lending, it's not like that because the house can burn down. You're still entitled to your interest.
Social media is the key to your business.
100%. It is my business. So right now I've lent around $620,000 since I've gotten into it.
And how much have you made off that?
You just had $20,000 deposited in your account.
Do you want to just keep getting rentals? Do you want to focus on the raising private capital? Like what specifically in real estate investing excites you the most?
Private money. I love private money.
But if I'm new to this, I still don't know what private money lending is. How do you protect yourself as a lender? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Lowdown. Today, I am very, very excited to bring on Darius McClelland.
What's up? What's up?
Let's go. If you guys are wanting to get into real estate, but maybe you do not want to deal with tenants, crazy rehabs, or any of the stress that comes with it, maybe you're looking for something truly passive, or maybe you are in real estate, but you have the deals but don't have the funding for it, this is going to be your episode you will not want to miss. Darius is killing it in private money lending, so I'm really excited to just get into all the weeds of private money lending. So Darius, welcome to the show.
Dude, thanks for having me. I still can't believe I'm doing stuff like this, man. It's crazy how real estate just puts like people like you and I together and opens up doors.
I know.
This is awesome.
Yeah, we just met. Honestly, this is the very first time meeting. Darius followed me on Instagram a few weeks ago, and then I followed his page, and just so happened to be that we're both in the Bay Area, and I love everything that he's doing, so I'm really excited to get into everything private money lending.
Yeah, thank God you live like down the street. Like, this is awesome.
Literally. So at this point, how much have you lent out to other people?
So right now, I've lent around $620,000 since I've gotten into it. So it's been pretty awesome.
And how much have you made off that?
Oh, I've officially turned it into a six-figure business. So I'm at like $115,000 in return right now, just on the passive side, not even on the active raising side.
Truly passive.
Yeah, truly passive. Like I sleep at night very well.
That's amazing. One of the first pieces of content that really stuck out to me was you were on a first-class flight to, I think, Dubai.
Yeah.
And you're in, I don't know if it was Emirates or Etihad or something like that.
Emirates, yep.
Yep. And you said that this whole first-class trip, or the whole trip in general, was paid for by private money lending. Is that true?
Yeah, it was. It was a combination of my wife does credit card points, and then so it was a combination of that, and then the cash part that we did pay was all private money lending. It was freaking amazing. It was my dream vacation. So I still can't believe we did it.
That's amazing. I mean, I've always wanted to do a first class, especially that kind of the flight where you get like the full lay down bed and your own little suite. So that's fucking awesome. So
dude, it's better than it, like I have to say, it's better than it even looks on social media. Like when we did it, I was like a 16-hour flight and I was like, I did not want to get off. I was like, they had to like pry me off that plane. I was like, no, like, please let me stay.
Yep. So everyone always talks about flipping, wholesaling, all the active things in real estate, but private money lending is something that I feel like is the secret behind closed doors. So how did you fall into private money lending? I
honestly, like you have nailed it on the head. Like it's such like the secret, like silent partner. And I literally fell into it. I was in Hawaii, actually on vacation. And I talk about it all the time. Soli, hey Soli,
Soli.
She posted on social media like, hey, I'm looking for an investor for a deal I'm doing, and I was already part of her community. So I was like, and we've met in person before, so I was like, let's try it. Why not? My wife was like, do it. My wife is very like, do it, like take the risk. And so I was like, all right. We hopped on a call. I was literally in my swim trunks, about to go to the beach and drink my Mai Tais.
Nice.
And so we hopped on a Zoom call, slowly broke down how private money lending works. It was like an hour phone call, Zoom call. It was great. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Wired the funds, sent the contract, everything. And then when just kind of sat back, relaxed, collected interest. And then a year later, it was a full year, full circle. Now I'm on vacation again. And I'm at the Fontainebleau, the spa at the Fontainebleau in Miami. Okay. My phone, ding, ding, ding goes up. I'm like, what's this? It's like, you've made, you just had $20,000 deposited in your account. And I'm like, most people be like, that's a scam. Like, what's going on? And then Sully texted me, hey, we just paid out your private money loan. Thanks for everything. And I was like, I love you. After doing multiple rentals, I was like, this side of it and the returns were higher. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm all in. And after that, it was just loan after loan after loan after loan. And now we're at like over $600,000 and like of my personal money that I've lent since starting. And I love it.
Amazing. So I want to take a step back because you said you met Soli and then you just wired her the money right away. So how do people actually vet other people to do this? Because I think there's a lot of social media stuff that you see where I think like, oh, this is a scam. So how did you have the trust to do that so easily?
That's a great question. And so the first one I did, she could have took full advantage of me because I had no idea what I was doing. Mm-hmm. You always hear about people talking about raising private capital. No one was talking about lending private capital. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of, thank God, like she had a resume already and she had everything already laid out. But things that you should ask are, okay, one, how many deals have you done? I need proof of those deals. I need the exit strategy on what, or hopefully exit strategies. Like having more than one is huge.
Yeah.
You want to know, okay, what's the contracting team you're working with? You want the title company contact. You want to be able to talk. You want to invade their life, their business life. What's your business structure? Do you do this through an LLC? Are you doing this as a sole prop? Like all that kind of stuff. And you dig and you dig. Any question you think of, you ask. You want to know what their favorite color is? Who gives a fuck? You ask, what is your favorite color? And so, but she had all that stuff laid out already. It's just experience. And so I was like, okay. And the biggest thing about vetting people with private, like, for asking about lending is if the less questions you have to ask, the better chance you have of getting the money. Because as a private money lender, we're in this to be passive. If I have to track you down for information, you have no longer turned this into a passive investment.
Totally.
So that's one of the biggest reason I lent with her.
Yeah, that makes sense. And if they are apprehensive to give you this information, that's a huge red flag.
Run.
Yeah.
Run. Don't look back. Run like it's like you're the victim in a scary movie.
Oh my gosh. So what was that first deal? So how much would she ask for? How much was the interest rate? I'm just kind of curious, like what kind of returns can you expect to see from a private money deal?
So that was standard. It was a 10% return. I lent $175,000. And the reason it ended up being $20,000 because we extended an extra month because the market just got slower. And we talked and I was like, yeah, I'm A-okay with extending it. So it was $175,000 for a 12-month term, 10% annualized return. So it should have been $17,000, which is still great money for not doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an hour of my time. I would make $17,000. Like that's a great ROI. And then it turned into 20 because we extended it a month and a half and I was not upset at all.
That's amazing, man. Just making that money on the beach.
Yeah. And that's not even my biggest deal that I've done, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the biggest return.
Okay. So if I'm new to this, and I still don't know what private money lending is, how do you protect yourself as a lender?
So one is doing your due diligence on the borrower is huge. And the borrower is a person who's asking you for money. So again, like we talked about is you want to vet them. You want to know the deal, the exit strategy. You want to make sure they have plan A, B, and C laid out. Then also you want to know a little bit about the market they're investing in. You don't need to know everything, but just know like if they're saying they're investing in some like town you've never heard of and there's no reason for people to be there, might want to ask why and do you have experience being in this? And then the biggest thing, and I talk about this all the time with people, is find out if they've ever lost money on a deal. Because if they've borrowed private money before and lost money, but they still paid out the private money lender and passed, that's a great investor. So I actually asked that because I am terrified of losing money. Yes. That's why I don't gamble. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with that. So that's the one question I knew to ask was, have you ever defaulted on a loan? And if the answer is no, I'm like, okay, well, have you ever lost money on a flip? Because I fund a lot of flips. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, tell me about it. And then I said, okay, did you use private capital? Yep. What'd you do with the private money lender? We still paid them out. All right, we can talk now. People want to know, it's easy to talk. I talk about this all the time. It's easy to talk about your wins.
Yep.
It's a lot harder to talk about your losses, and your losses connect more with people than your wins.
Definitely.
Because the losses tell you who you actually really are.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. On my first flip, I lost 20K. I was telling you this earlier.
Yep.
And I honestly wear it like my heart on my sleeve because it just shows that you've gone through all those different things. You have solutions to problems, and you're able to think through these critical situations. And I really think it builds trust with other people.
It's true. And I think people don't understand is like your losses can actually be your biggest wins. Like it's not a win on paper, but what you learn from your loss, it's like you lose so you don't have to keep losing. Yeah. And so it's like, so when I hear investors talking about, oh, I lost money on a deal, I was like, yeah, but how many deals went well because of that one loss, right? And so like we were talking, like you lost money on a deal, but then you made money and you did fine on another one. It's like, okay, so that loss was short term. Like you'll recoup that money. Yeah. Like you're a hard worker and everything. So it's like, you'll recoup it. But those lessons will stick with you for the rest of your investing career.
Yeah, that makes sense. How many different deals have you lent on at this point now? I know you said you've done probably 600 in lending, but how many different deals is that spread across?
Ooh, that's a great question. I really should track this. I've done at least 10.
Okay.
I know that. But I've raised private capital for over 30.
Okay. Damn.
So yeah.
So when did that switch come from being a lender to raising for other people?
Dude, social media, man. It's social media is like the founding pillar of my business. It was I was posting about my experience of private money lending. I wasn't sharing it. I don't have a course. Everything I do is for free. And all I did was I shared my journey. And I was like, hey, I got into private money lending. No one ever talks about it. I'm gonna share what it's like to be a lender. And I was sharing it, and then someone reached out and they're like, hey, Darius, I see you talking about like private money lending. Have you ever thought about raising private capital for investors like me? And I was like, never thought about that. Like, you can get paid to do this. And I was like, I'm just kind of like having fun doing the passive side. I'm a busy guy. And they're like, no. And so they sat me down. We had lunch at Panera and we broke it down. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so then literally after that meeting, the craziest thing, I think it was the craziest thing that'll probably ever happen. I made an Instagram post and I was just like, and I just talked about, said something like POV, you got into private money lending and now you make passive returns of sitting on your couch. It was like something so like simple. The videos of me like looking out at the Bellagio fountain in Vegas, like something like super cliche. I raised $600,000 from that one Instagram post.
Holy shit.
Dude, craziest thing. It was like, I posted that thing got like 1,000 views. I'd never seen 1,000 views ever on Instagram. So I thought I was famous. And a bunch of people reached out. They're like, oh my God, like that sounds so cool. Like, you know, tell me more about it. It's like, okay. So I just told them and I said, hey, let me connect you with this investor. You know, let me know what it's like. And then we raised $600,000 off that one post.
Damn.
Then I tried to do that post again the second time, raised $0. But it was just like the like, oh crap moment, the light bulb turned on. And then I was like, okay. And I literally asked that person, why did you lend? Like, why? And I like, why'd you lend with me? Even though like with the investor, why'd you lend with me? And he's like, well, you were sharing. He's like, we were actually following your journey from you lending. And then now you were talking about there's opportunity. It's like, we wanted to get in on it. And then like a light bulb clicked. So then I shifted to, okay, I can also raise private capital. And then I turned that into a whole business of raising private capital for investors.
Were those 6 people, were they all immediately friends or family? Were they outside your circle? Were they people you had never met? Can you talk about those?
Yeah. So the first one, when I raised the 600,000, that was actually only off of 2 people. And it was from people I knew. So I run a baseball training organization out here and we have a lot of families, a lot of tech families. And so I work with their kids. So they trust, those are the trust factors already there. So I have like the biggest hurdle out of the way. And so that started, but then it kind of started translating to social media people, because once those people started doing it and there's a proof of concept, people started reaching out that I've never met before are like, hey, Darius, you know, I want to get into private money lending. This looks really cool. You know, I always thought it was a scam. And I was like, I promise it's not a scam. I'm doing it. Like, and I would send them examples of the deals I'm doing. Like, I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
I was like, here's my promissory note that I do. I'd ask the investor I work with, hey, can I show them my promissory note? He's like, just bleed out like some of the personal information. And I was like, okay. So I did that. And I was like, here, like, take a look. Go ahead. I have nothing to hide here.
Yeah.
And they're like, is it really that simple? And I was like, look, I'm doing this. I've lent hundreds of thousands of dollars and I haven't been burned yet. So here you go. And then it was just like, I call it stranger. It was social media stranger after social media stranger after social media stranger. Just one after another, just started reaching out.
Damn.
It was crazy.
That is crazy. One thing I love about you is you're so transparent about everything. And that's something I'm always aiming to do also. I mean, just give unconditionally to the universe and it will return tenfold.
Exactly.
Yes.
100%. That's a great point. Just share your journey.
Yeah.
Like that's literally, people like a story, which again, like social media, it's like you and I are both like figuring out social media. Let's just post and we're like, you just hope it sticks. And then you just keep going. And that's all I did was I just shared. And then it was just transparent. Like there's one deal that went south, but I still got my principal back. We can talk about that later if you want.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest payout I ever done in private money lending. And I've had deals where I've forwarded someone to a trusted borrower that I'm using. And then like that borrower was late on payment and the person called me like, Darius, what the heck? And I got on the phone with them. I'm like, what the heck? Why are you late? Get your, butt in gear. And people appreciate that. And they're like, hey, like that sucks, but you're on top of it and you're transparent. Transparency is like a cure for 90% of your problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Social media, whether you're doing private money lending or anything, you always need to be sharing your journey because it's your resume. So that's how people build trust with you. But also it just gives you so much business. So would you say at this point, it's 100% social media is the key to your business?
100%. It is my business.
Okay. So what are some of the biggest advice or big piece of advice you could give people as far as social media? Like, is there any specific reels or formats that you follow? Like what's been your biggest learning lesson so far?
My biggest learning lesson is just don't stop and don't compare. It's like, and you and I were talking about this, like, it's like, especially in the real estate world, there's a lot of courses, there's a lot of these gurus, there's a lot of this, and they have tens of thousands of followers. Learn from how they post, but don't compare yourself to them, because like my page, I think I'm just over 3,000 followers now. I used to chase followers. I was like, you need a following in order to get business. And then after I realized that I could raise that much money When at that time, I think I had like 1,200 followers and I raised like 600 grand. I was like, it's about quality relationships. So chase quality relationships on social media instead of just chasing the clout, because you don't need to reach that. Like everyone wants to reach that like 10,000 mark.
Yeah.
You don't need to be there. It's like, if you get there, you'll get there, but it's just engaged daily. I'm all over social media. Like I try to make my presence felt as if I'm like 100,000 page, like follower page. Like if you look at someone, you're going to see a comment from Invest with Darius. And then it's like, you're going to see this. It's like, I comment on your stuff because, and I don't have like a person that runs it like this. It's 100% me. And I only spend about an hour on Instagram a day. I have the timer on there.
Nice.
But Instagram timer. So like, I don't sit there scrolling and losing my brain, but I make sure I'm intentional with my time. There's a purpose, and then just go on there to learn, go on there to connect, and it'll kind of take care of itself.
Yeah. So you're very intentional on social media. You're not going there to doom scroll.
No.
Set an hour every single day. And just one thing that stood out to me. So you followed me first.
Yep.
And then you did the whole like wall. I was like, oh, this is a scam. Who's this guy?
Yep.
And you commented on a bunch of my things. So that seems to be a really good way, because now you're putting your attention in front of the person, right?
Yes. And the biggest thing is the comment. Because you know, the spam likes are so annoying.
Yes.
Like you're like, oh man, something's blowing up. It's just one guy just spamming your crap. You're like, dude.
Yeah.
So like I'll spam like, I always say I'll spam like 8 to 10 posts, but I will comment on at least 50% of the ones I like. So then like I'm trying to engage with you and form like a relationship. I'm not sitting here just doing the bare minimum or just blowing you up because I'm going to sell you my course in Lithuania, right? Like all of Lithuania. I'm actually trying to form this business relationship, and let's see what happens.
That's amazing. Who's been one of the biggest contacts or connects that you've made on social media so far?
Ooh, that's a good one. I said there's 3. One has a huge impact. His name is Neil Home. He's out of Vegas, and we just randomly connected, and it's just like, he's really good about teaching about how to build a brand. Neil, you're the man. We've never met in person, but we've talked on social media. He has a huge following, but like, he's very personable. Like he's not like, you have a huge following and you'll never hear from him. He's like, I learned from his page a lot about storytelling and just share your journey. His biggest thing is just press record. So he's like, go about your life, just press record. Like if you're not pressing record, no one's gonna know what you're doing. Yeah. So then I will always give a shout out to Soli, because she's the one who got me into the private money lending. I was already starting to invest out of state, and she was at that point investing out of state in long-term rentals and midterm rentals, stuff like that. And then her being from the Bay Area and an out-of-state investor really resonated with her on that, because it's like, you're part of it too. It's like, it's relatable. We're all from the Bay. It's expensive out here.
Yes.
So we go and invest in the least expensive states. And then I'll have to honestly say my wife, like my wife's page. Yeah, I'm going to give her a shout out. Deals and Destinations, Ruth, I love you. Because she's very introverted, but on her page, she's very extroverted as far as like putting herself out there and getting out of her comfort zone. And like, even this kind of stuff is way outside my comfort zone.
I would
like,
never guess that.
Yeah. Like I spoke at Bigger Pockets. That was like a huge, like, what am I doing? I spoke on a lot of podcasts recently, and I'm just like, all right.
You're famous, dude.
Far from it. Far from it. So, but like, seeing her do what she does is actually inspiring, because I'm like, hey, like, she's very introverted. She's doing this. She's very successful in the points and miles business. She has her own business doing this stuff. And like, I'm like, if she can get out there and do this stuff and kill it, like I can too. And so like, I would say those are 3 people I really like look to in this stuff.
Okay. I want to go back to the beginning when you said you were just posting consistently and just pressing record. So I know even for myself, my very first podcast, I'm like, so cringy to listen to and watch. So how did you get over that fear and that horrible feeling that you feel when you start posting consistently and like worrying about other people's judgment? Like, walk me through that, how you were able to overcome all that.
Dude, it was so hard. It was like, at some point I just got to, I was like, just send it. You just got to do it. And I'd go in there. I was my first podcast, I was shaking. Like on the way there, I was so nervous. And it was just kind of like, I just thought the thought process was, the worst thing that could happen is they just don't post it because it was so bad. And no one knows. And at that point, that really kind of just, I don't know how I came to that thought. It just like, it was like a Yoda thought. It just happened. And I was like, okay. And I just kind of stuck with that. But I also think what helps is, outside of this, I played baseball in college. Baseball is a very failure-centered sport. Like if you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're considered going to the Hall of Fame. So it's 70% fail rate. And so like, you fail so much more than you succeed. So it kind of helped me shape of like, hey, it's okay if this doesn't go okay. And so that was kind of the biggest thing of being like, just do it. And then once you do the first one, at least for me personally, and unlock something where I was like, that wasn't that bad. See, we're just having a conversation. Like you and I, like, this is just a conversation.
Yep.
Like you and I, we would put the mics away and still have the same conversation. So, and then that's when you start thinking about that and you're like, okay, it just kind of blurs out the fact that there's cameras and lights and all this stuff. You just kind of do it. And then you get the positive feedback, any feedback actually. Like some people might say, oh, I didn't like it. Okay. But then most people will give you positive feedback just because you did it.
Yes. Couldn't agree more.
And even if you didn't do well, like you were like, I stutter all the time. But after I did the first one, people were like, I liked what you said about this. And I'm like, you did? And then that gives you confidence. And then it's like, you do another one. And then all it takes is one person to say, I like that you mentioned this. And like you were talking about, you're like, oh, I liked how you talked about lend. It's better to lend many with few than few with many. And it's like, you caught that?
Oh yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it makes it worth it.
Yeah. So then you just keep going and then repetition. And then eventually you're just kind of like,
yeah, worst case scenario, people are always going to judge regardless, right?
100%.
So worst case scenario, they just don't like it or they unfollow you, whatever. One thing that stuck out to me that Amy at RPM said this past weekend is do what others don't so you can have a life others won't. And that is a huge thing with social media. I mean, it is so scary. I don't want to say it's scary, but I think the fear of judgment is just a fear that we all have. Yeah. But look at the success you've had so far with just posting, right? Or posting it consistently.
Yeah. It's such a simple concept, right? Yeah. It's like, just post. Like your phone is like the greatest marketing tool in the world.
Yep. Unlimited reach. We reach lots of people. Even when you're not having these conversations, there's unlimited leverage.
It is. And people people will laugh. People will judge. But most of the people that are judging are never going to accomplish half of what you're going to accomplish in your life anyways. So screw them. Yeah. It's because those same people that judge are going to end up being your biggest fan once it starts working. That's the weird thing. Like I've hit that point now, like people who are making fun of me when I was doing, like I do like the quirky dances and I'm just like, whatever. I hate filming in public, by the way. I still hate it. Like it still takes a lot of like courage for me to walk through an airport and do like a story where I'm holding my phone and talking. But then eventually it's like starting to turn, people that were making fun of me for doing this are kind of like, hey, like I like your stuff on your page. And I'm like, oh really?
Love that. So I want to switch up gears and go back to the private money thing. So
yeah,
one thing I love about private money lending that you said, and another thing is like private money lending is kind of like a high yield savings account, but better.
Yeah. See, you catch things.
I do, dude. I pay attention.
I like that.
Yeah. So can you talk about more about just the kind of deals that you always see most successful? Is it always kind of just short-term flips? Is it burrs? Like what kind of things do you love to invest in specifically?
I love flips. I think flips are the best one to do because you normally have more than one exit strategy, so you're more protected. Because with a flip, if it doesn't sell, like a lot of the times you can do a cash out, the borrower can do a cash out refinance and get you your money back that way. So I think flips are the safest one to do. I've done burrs. I've only done burrs and flips, and I'm just gonna stick to that. But trying to think of how to put it. It's like you were talking about, it's a high yield savings account. What you do is you find 1 to 2 really good borrowers that always have deals, give your money to them, and then just put it on repeat. That's why I call it a high yield savings account. I have one borrower. Actually, I have 2 right now. I just reinvested with her. I didn't even get my money back. It was in title. It was a $150,000 loan. She gave me my last interest payment on the last deal. And I just said, hey, do you want to just tell title to transfer it to the next deal you have? And she's like, I literally have a deal lined up. So just take the money. So that's why I call it the very high yield savings account.
Yeah.
So flips, number 1, I think are the best.
Okay. One thing I love about private money lending is you can earn great returns, but your money isn't tied up as long as it would be if you invested in like a syndication deal, which is apartments, self-storage, anything like that, where people are raising tons of money, get great returns, but your money is typically locked up for 3 to 5 years at the very minimum, if not 7. And so these private money notes can be 6 months to a year. And so you're able to get your money up much quicker.
Yes, 100%. And like, I don't do anything longer than a year.
Yeah.
And then, but most of my deals, like even though the contract states for a year, they normally end in like 6 months. And they just give themselves the buffer in case they have to do a cash out refinance and all that stuff and it delays. But yeah, I think private money lending gives you the most flexibility with your investment. It's a very liquid investment.
Yes. So you get a private money, you find a person, and then you get a real estate attorney to do a promissory note and a first deed of trust.
Yep.
Or a deed of trust, right?
Yep.
That's like the lien.
Yep.
Okay. So that's just how you protect yourself if you're looking to get into this.
Yep, exactly. It's a really simple process. It's, the promissory note states everything in there for you. It's a very simple contract. The promissory notes that I use are 2 pages long. You bought a place out here in the Bay Area, a purchase contract's like 16. And that's just the purchase contract, not to mention disclosures and everything. But yeah, it's a very simple concept. You have the promissory note and it just states the terms, which is how much you're lending, what the property is, what happens if they default on the loan, and what you're being paid and the time frame. And that's pretty much it. You know, there's some legal jargon in there to make it sound fancy because they just like doing that.
Yeah.
But that's really much it. And then, I'm a big believer in always being first position. Yeah. There's people out there that'll do second position, and more power to you. Like, I'm not judging, but you're just more protected in first position. And it depends on, like, if it's you do a real estate attorney, and like some states are attorney based, some states are title company based. It just depends on where you are. And then you get to know the title company or the real estate attorney working it. Most of the time, the borrower will have a promissory note template there to use, or you can use your own, whatever you want. I always say connect with a lawyer. I have a lawyer. He's on standby. If I called him right now, he'd probably answer and be like, "What's up?"
Nice.
And then from there, it's just you vet the borrower and you have the paperwork. You're ready to go.
So I want to hear about a deal that has gone bad, because you said earlier that you had this deal where it didn't really make any of the projections it made, but you still got paid out. So can you talk about that deal?
So this one, and honestly, the borrower that I did is a great guy. Like, I still talk to him, great human being. It just ended up being a deal that he partnered with someone else, and the partner that he partnered with ended up being not great. And it was actually for something outside of real estate. It was for a mobile cannabis lab. And I don't know anything about the business. And this is one thing I'll say is stick to what you know when you lend. I didn't really know much about this, but I knew the person. They referred to me on social media from someone I know very well. And I was like, hey, you know what? We did the due diligence. I had the attorneys look at it. I had attorneys write the contract. They basically let me write it the way I changed their contract to the way that fit me better. We did probably like 3 to 4 different video calls with the borrower, and it ended up working fine. Did it. Everything was going smoothly until like it's time to pay out. They're like, hey, we're ready for to issue the payout. I'm like, great. Then there was like a delay. They're like, hey, we have a slight delay. I'm like, hey, it's okay. In the contract, we have a 5-day grace period anyways. It's fine. Then the 5 days came up, didn't hear anything. So I'm like, oh my God, I just got scammed. I called him. He answered right away. He's like, hey man, we're running through some issues. Like, here's the deal. He was very transparent. So I'll always thank him for that. And he's like, hey, and I have a partner that's just kind of making this hard. Had to get attorneys involved. This is why he's always have an attorney. So I had my attorney reach out and was like, hey, this was a $100,000 loan with a $55,000 payout. So a 55% return in 3 months. So yeah. So I was like, it's a high risk, high reward. And normally if it sounds too good to be true when private money lending, it normally is. In this one, I took the leap because I was, trusting the borrower more than the deal because I didn't know enough about the deal. One important part about the deal was my collateral, which is like basically what I get to take if they default, was the most important piece of the lab, which is actually worth like $1 million. So I was like, and I actually did my due diligence mostly on the collateral than I did the actual lab, which probably wasn't the greatest idea, but I was investing in something I don't really understand. So I was like, I'm going to break this deal apart and focus on one aspect, and that's the aspect that's going to protect me. And he actually provided a purchase contract where someone tried to buy this piece off of him for $1.2 million. So I was like, $100,000 loan, $1.2 million piece if they default. I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
And this person, like, he's trustworthy, he's been great. And it didn't happen. And so, but thank goodness after talking with attorneys, I got my principal back. So I got my $100,000 back. We're still working on getting the payout. We extended the loan. So the loan now comes due January. And they had just actually reached out recently saying, hey, we're prepping to pay out. So we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, so that's the one that didn't really go according to plan. But you learn. And to me it's a free lesson because they're taking care of the attorney fees. I got my principal back. So I got to see what happens when something goes south. So I can speak on it now.
So you said that was pretty much 3 months or 6 months?
That was a 3-month deal. So on the month number 3, this is when it all kind of just...
Well, 3 months isn't bad. I mean, it's not
not terrible. And I got my money back.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of people who get into private money lending and they don't do it right and they get nothing back. The person up and runs and leaves. I was very due diligent in my vetting, and I know where this guy sleeps too. So I went all the way down, and that's why you find out their business model. And he was doing it through himself. And I was like, I'm going to find out everything about you.
Yeah. Guys, I know you probably think this sounds risky, but also sounds risky putting your money in stocks where the company can go completely under tomorrow.
And you have no control over it.
Absolutely zero control. I think you have way more control in real estate, especially if you're able to vet the people really well. Get these promissory notes where if something happens, you're cross-collateralized, you get the property back. This is a no-brainer to me.
100%.
Right?
It's the safest investment I think you can make.
Yes.
It's funny you say that. Was the stock market in August of last year, the stock market crashed the worst that I ever had since the pandemic. I had a private money loan due right when that happened. I got paid out like nothing ever happened. I have stocks too. I think you should be balanced.
Yeah.
And we're in the Bay Area, so we have a stock portfolio. My thing took a hit. I looked at it and I was like, if I was about to retire, I would be screwed.
Yeah.
I was like, but then my private money loan, on the other hand, it's like, it was just like, hey, we're issuing your payout, because the stock market is, all it takes is for someone high up in the government or business to say something stupid, and they have control over your money.
Yep.
And private money lending, it's not like that, because the house can burn down. You're still entitled to your interest. The deal, like I said, the first deal that I ever did, actually solely, it didn't even sell on time. They ended up paying me out. I don't even know if the property ever sold, but so I still got paid out. So it's like, I've seen plan A not happen and still make money.
Yeah.
And that's why I like private money lending so much, and why I think people should get into it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And what do you think the bank is doing with your money that's sitting in the savings account? It ain't your money. It's being lent out to other things.
They're literally doing the exact same thing.
They're making 10 times more than what you're making with your 0.01 savings account. Right?
Being the bank beats the bank any day of the week.
Yes.
That's what it is. That's the saying.
Yes.
It's and I didn't come up with that. Someone else. I heard someone else say it. But yeah, being the bank beats the bank every day of the week.
Yeah.
Because the bank's literally doing the same thing with your money.
Yeah. So I want to switch up gears again and go into the actual being a capital partner and raising for other people, because I think a lot of people can just stay as a private money lender. So how did that come to? I know you said someone approached you, but what are some of the ways that you've been successful in doing so? Just all social media? Like, what's your funnel look like? Like, what specific things do you do?
Yeah, so social media is huge. I think one of the greatest ways to get people to do things is you need to show them both ends of the table. So like, I talk about lending private capital, so that way I want to raise private capital because they know what it's like on the lending side, how beneficial it is. Raising private capital is about showing why it's good for someone. That's how you raise private capital. And you have to attack the human side of it, because it's relationship based. It's not just a business transaction, because at the end of the day, people are investing in the person, not the deal. Like I said, I lent money for the mobile cannabis lab based on the borrower, not so much the deal, because I didn't know much about it. Not saying this is the smartest thing in the world, but it's a people-based business. So how I break it down is, on social media, I post about private money lending on the lending side. I actually don't post much about raising private capital, which is funny, right? You would think if I'm raising private capital, I would always post about raising private capital. I attack the why you should do this and why you need to do this. So all my posts are about, I've made this much on this private money loan. I am flying first class Emirates to Dubai because of this private money loan paid me, and I was paid out while I was on that flight. I got a payout.
Nice.
So I talk about that. Then when people reach out, I say like, hey, they're like, here's my experience, and you just get to know them. Don't talk about the deal immediately, because it's the biggest turnoff. Because you're talking about, again, this is someone's going to lend you their hard-earned money, and like most deals, the minimum I see is $100,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money, and so it's like you really got to make them trust you. So I just talk like, how are you? Who are you? What do you do? How did you get to where you are? Those are the questions I ask. And people like that. They're like, oh, you're actually trying to get to know me. I tell them about how I got to where I'm at. Then, we talk in that conversation, we talk about like, oh, you have money saved up. What do you like to invest in? That's a question I ask. So what do you like to invest in? Like, especially us in the Bay Area, where we're around a lot of money. I ask people and people don't mind talking about their investments. I think that's such a myth that people don't like talking about their investments. People love talking about their investments. So I just ask them like, oh, what are you invested in? They're like, oh, I have stocks. I have this. I have my self-directed IRA. I have this. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you ever thought about investing in real estate? And most every time people's answer is like, yeah, but. It's always, yeah, but I don't have time. Yeah, but the market scares me. Yeah, but this. And I was like, well, I actually lend to investors right now. And then I share my experience. And they immediately go, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you always use the line, this is like my high yield savings account. Like you said, I use it as a high yield savings account. Most of the time at that point they're in, and it's a pretty high conversion rate right now for me on that. So, and it's literally a conversation. Like, I don't have a script that I follow where it's like, you talk about this, then you get to this, then you get to this. I'm like, I'm going to have a one-on-one conversation with you as if we're just at the bar, and I'm going to get to know you. And then I'm going to somehow work your investments into the conversation. And then we're just going to talk about that. And then most of the time people are like, give me a call. Like, I'm very interested in this. If they're not interested, most of the time they're like, hey, I still want to keep this conversation going because I'm interested. It's just, I don't know if I'm ready at this time. And then, but a lot of those people that say, oh, I don't know if I'm ready at this time, they circle back later and they're like, cause what do? I put them on my social media, follow me on Instagram. Even if they're like not on social media much, I'm like, just follow it, just take a look. I post on Facebook too, because that's where like the boomers are.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, so I posted on Facebook and they're like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. You're planting the seed. Whether the money comes now or in a couple years or whatever, you never know when that could come. So you just stay consistent and just build that trust right away.
Yeah. It was a long story, but that's pretty much how I do it. It's literally just talk to people. If you want to raise private capital, talk to them. Don't only talk about the deal, talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
And then talk about how this would benefit them.
Yeah.
And you'll get their money.
Okay. That makes sense. Do a lot of the people love to invest more so in the shorter term notes like a flip, or do you get a mix of people where they want to do long-term syndications? I
have the really wealthy like syndications because you can get tax benefits with syndications if you're doing equity-based ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned that people like the private money lending more because it's shorter term.
Yeah.
And when you're telling them they don't have to lock up their money for years, you eliminate a huge fear factor for them. When you tell them like, hey, 6 months, what is 6 months? Like 6 months go by so fast.
Yeah.
And most people who have the money to private money lend, they're not doing anything with that money in 6 months anyways. So it's like when you tell them, hey, like your money's going to be tied up in 6 months, but you can make thousands of dollars on that. I guarantee if it goes well, they're going to reinvest.
Yeah.
Every person I've raised private capital for is reinvested.
Okay. And is this money all paid at the very end? Is it paid monthly, quarterly? How does that payment schedule work?
Depends on the deal. Like there's some deals that are monthly, some deals that are quarterly, some deals that are a balloon payment at the end. It really just depends. Like one borrower I have does quarterly payments. I really like them. I have one that does a balloon payment at the end, and then I have one that does monthly. So it's like, and I just rotate between them, and it allows. And if you have enough money, so like if you have enough money and you can do multiple deals at a time, spread out your different strategies on how you get paid out, and eventually it'll be like you have multiple rentals. So like I first did it with a borrower that only did quarterly payouts, but then I staggered a property, so I did 3 separate loans 1 month after each other. So I'm actually getting paid every month, and it was like I'm getting paid like $1,500 a month. That's better than a long-term rental.
Yeah, you're not doing anything.
I'm not doing anything, and that makes more than a long-term rental.
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of like single-family homes that'll pay you $1,500 a month.
No, not here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, you're losing money in the Bay Area. So, and even out of state, like I own 6 properties out of state, and I was like, it would take me like 2 to 3 properties combined to make $1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my best performing property right now makes me $600 a month.
Okay.
And for a long-term rental, and that one's in Texas, which is like good for a long-term rental, but I have one private money loan that's making me $1,500 a month with no management.
Okay. So you get leads from Instagram, and then you put them on an email list.
Yep.
Do you have a CRM and like a newsletter? Like how
I have
are you following up consistently with these people?
So I have social media, and then I tell them like, hey, DM the word this. That'll give me your email, and then I put them on my newsletter that I send out. I need to get better at sending it out every Thursday. I haven't sent it out for like 2 weeks. I've also been traveling. So then my newsletter, and then in my newsletter, I always close it with, if you're looking and you want to get started, I have borrowers that you can invest with. And I only forward people to borrowers that I've successfully invested with. So the proof of concept's there.
Yeah. So
it's not like you're just getting some random Joe Schmo. And then normally I'll get, per 10 emails, I'll get like 1 person reach out, which is not bad.
Yeah.
So
10% is great.
Yeah. And then I'll reach out, but then my biggest conversion rate is literally just straight from Instagram. Like a 1 Instagram post, like sometimes will give me 3 people that'll lend.
Damn. And what are the specific Instagram posts?
It's very simple. I like one of my really like the best performing one was the one with 600,000 where I just put like POV, I started private money lending and made $20,000 for doing absolutely nothing. Here's how you can. Mm-hmm. And then other ones I post like actual deals of what I'm doing, and I just post a number, like a reel with the numbers. And then in the caption I say, contact me if you want to do this. And then other ones are just me actually just teaching one part of private money lending. So I'll do like an Instagram carousel. So my reels are more about the whole private money lending experience. My carousels, I attack one specific part of private money lending and break it down.
Got it.
Like, how do you vet borrowers? What is an exit strategy? What is this? What is that? Those are my carousels to like teach. Reels are like the clickbait showboating, like what it is. Mm-hmm. But the reels they pay, like people come from the reels.
And are you posting on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that, or just
Instagram and Facebook? I have a TikTok. I post on there every once in a while. I don't really like TikTok. It's just, to me, TikTok is just like brainless scrolling.
Yeah.
But I post on there just because like I'm like, you should. I post on Threads because why not? It's like, what's an extra 5 minutes of my time to schedule 10 threads a day? Mm-hmm. But Instagram is my main thing. Facebook has been a business side, has brought me business because the boomers will see my Facebook and it'll take them to my Instagram and it'll take them to me. But I live or die by Instagram.
Have you ever run ads, or is it all organic?
No, I've never run an ad.
Damn, that's awesome.
So everything I've done is 100% organic.
Okay. Do you think people should start off as a private money lender first, 100% before doing the private capital raising?
Yes.
Okay.
I think because it's good because you can't teach what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great. And that's like, people can raise private capital without it, but I think you can gain people's trust more when you've actually done it. And that's what actually one of the lenders has told me that I got into private money lending. They're like, the only reason I'm doing this is because you've done it. They're like, if you would have came to me and said, hey, I need your money, but you've never lent, they're like, we would have never done it. So I was like, oh.
So what are some other creative ways that people can invest in deals other than just having cash?
Oh yeah, great question.
Yes.
So the three major ones, there's cash. Equity is a huge one because equity, you can do it in two ways: cash out refi or HELOC. With a cash out refi, your rate is locked, which is nice. So it's better for a longer term private money loan. And then we just want to make sure that your rate of return on your private money loan is higher than the rate that you pulled out. And then your HELOC is another great one because, again, equity. But your HELOC, the rates fluctuate. So that's better for a short term deal because you don't know what the rates are going to be like in like 6 months.
Yeah.
So, and then the most powerful way is your self-directed IRA, your retirement account, because you can defer taxes. Again, consult with your CPA, always, not a CPA. But as long as you don't capture the money, meaning like you can pull the money out of your self-directed IRA, put it straight in the private money loan, and then put that money right back in the self-directed IRA or the solo 401k, you can defer taxes. So you can basically 10x your retirement account. Mm-hmm. Like imagine, like you can have, so I have a retirement account and I have some tied up in like stocks, but then I have a big portion of it that's just liquid cash that I don't invest in anything, so I can just take it out, put in a private money loan, put it right back.
Yeah, self-directed is something not many people know about at all. So.
I just got into that, 2 years ago?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's such an incredible thing. I mean, this is something that you can't really do if you have a current employer. Like I have a 403B with my current employer, so I've already tried to talk to them. I'm like, hey, I want to do this. They're like, no, you can't do that if you're still working with them. You have to quit your job. I think for me, you have to be gone for 3 months or something before you can actually roll it over. So I'm like, maybe I quit for 3 months, roll it over. And then
yeah. It's I think that's the most popular way that I see people doing it is out of their self-directed IRAs. And so it's just because there's so much flexibility. Don't have fees. You just do it real quick. It's basically cash.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I heard from someone else is that you can actually take a loan against a current retirement account you have. So mine, 403B, I think I can take a loan for $50,000 and then put that in a private money thing and then earn way more and then put the $50,000 back because I think I have 5 years to repay it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not as rehearsed in that one, but I know that's like the big wealthy play. I mean, wealthy people do it all the time because you don't get taxed on debt. So I mean, you're taking a loan against yourself pretty much.
Yeah.
And you just have to pay yourself back. So, and it's like, from what I've heard, it's kind of the same thing of doing the self-directed IRA where you take it out, just you can't put the money back into like a savings account. It needs to go directly back into the retirement account or whatever it came from.
Yeah. So I want to go back before all this private money stuff. What did you do before real estate? Did you just come into it or did your parents have a business background? Because you seem very, very knowledgeable about all real estate business. So how did you come into it?
Dude, everything that happened in my life, it feels like accident. Like God's plan is like literally, I'm a bit, I go to church. I'm a big believer. You have your plan and God laughs at it. Like, so like I started a baseball business first. Well, I should back up. I wanted to go to physical therapy school. That was my original plan A. I played college baseball. I was living in Houston. I'm like, I'm going to become a physical therapist, moved back to California. And then I was taking classes and I started a baseball business that was on accident. It was supposed to be one team. Now it's turned into a whole organization between our youth and high school, like 300 families. And it was a family in that organization, a high-end realtor, like pulled me aside. He's like, what are you doing with your life? I was like, what? This is like 2019 as like when this is when it happened. And he goes, what are you doing with your life? You can't just coach baseball for a living. I was like, I don't plan on it. I was like, I'm going to get my doctorate of physical therapy. You're gonna have to call me doctor. And he was like, you're around all these wealthy people, get your real estate license. And I was like, realtors are for the people. Sorry, realtors, I'm gonna say it. Realtors are people who do have no direction in life and they just become a real estate agent. That's literally what I thought. I was like, my grandma, like I do come from a family of business owners. My grandparents on my mom's side own a business. They own real estate, but they never talk about like investing. So I didn't really have anything real estate background. So I was like, so finally I bit the bullet after he wore me down for like months. It's like, all right, fine. He's like, dude, do it for a year. He's like, do it for a year. If you don't like it, you can always do physical therapy school. It's not going anywhere. I did it for a year. I made like, I think I said I made like $120,000, $150,000. That's a lot more than a physical therapist makes in the Bay Area. And I was like, all that business came from within my baseball business. Like the first client I got, I sent an email out once I got my license, went through the whole process. I sent an email out to everyone in my baseball business and said, hey, I just want you to know, I'm getting into real estate, got my real estate license. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, feel free to contact me. This won't take me away from my baseball stuff, but I just want you guys to know. 24 hours later, one of the lead engineers at LinkedIn reaches out. Their kid plays in our baseball program. They're like, hey, we're looking to move to Los Altos Hills.
Damn.
Yeah. Starting home price in Los Altos Hills is $4 million. And this was then, now it's like 6, 7. So got them a home, we found this home, got it for them. We got it way under what they were asking for. They forwarded me the next client, and they forwarded me another client. So it was like, they were my sole base of business. That one client led to like me making $150,000 in that 1 year. And I was hooked. And then I just like, I dove into that and I'm like, physical therapy school.
Screw it.
We're out.
She gone.
Yeah, she gone. Yeah. And I never looked back. And it was fun. I like enjoyed it. So then I kind of just kept going. And the next year I sold like one home. So I got a reality check. The world shut down. It was like weird. So I was like, oh my God, like what do I do? So it's 2020, no business. 2021, then I sold like 7 or 8 million. And then it just kept going and going and going. And then my mentor was like, because you always should get a mentor in anything you do. Yep. He's like, you should start investing in real estate. So then I started going on social media. I was like looking at, and social media then went from me being like trash TV to now it became a learning tool. So then I started learning, like I started reading, I started searching Bay Area people investing out of state. Like that was I was so specific with my post. And then I learned that people do that. That's how I found Soli. And then, so I said that. So then I bought my first property in Conroe, Texas. That did well. Then I bought 2 in Memphis. Then I bought one. We just bought one in Dubai. That's the crazy one. Damn. And then I bought 2 in St. Louis just recently too. So I'm still a believer rentals are a great strategy, but private money lending is the number one.
Okay.
But yeah.
So right now, would you say you're a full-time realtor / baseball owner, business owner, and then also doing the private? So which one is your biggest focus at this point?
Realtor. It goes realtor, real estate investor, baseball. Baseball's like, even though it's a business, it's kind of like the hobby. I said, I'm going to do it until it's not fun anymore. Okay. We're on year 10. We just made it to year 10. So that's like it's huge. I'm like, wow, like we've been doing this for 10 years and we've grown every year for 10 years. So, but it's realtor, because real estate is my big active income. And then it's real estate investing, because I finally got that now to where it's like a 6-figure business. And then the baseball.
Is there any point will you move towards real estate investing full time and quit the realtor stuff?
Yes. Yeah, that's the goal.
What's that point?
Hopefully soon, honestly. Yeah. I'm really, really getting into where I'm diving full on into real estate investing. Like I want to be a full-time investor. Like that's all I do.
What do you want to, just keep getting rentals? Do you want to focus on the raising private capital? Like what specifically in real estate investing excites you the most?
Private money.
Okay.
I love private money because there's so much you can do within private money. Because it's like, it's like there's syndications, there's funds. My next thing is actually right now is I'm working on starting a fund. So if you guys are looking for this, I am hopefully going to have a fund up and running for hopefully before the end of this year. Because I'm not a believer in like wait till the new year. But if not, like, because I'm learning about all the process behind the scenes of it, because I'm going to do it right. I'm handling people's money. I treat other people's money better than I treat my own money. Yeah. And so, but yeah, the biggest thing now is I'm looking to start funds.
Okay. And for people who don't know what a fund is, can you explain what that is?
Fund is basically you get a group of people that like put their money in a pool. So like if you have this right here, everyone's putting their money in a pool. Let's say you're trying to raise $1 million and you say like, hey, if let's get 10 people that put in $100,000 and you will get 8 to 10% return on your money. So it is private money lending, but you're just doing it with a group of people. And then you put it into one deal or multiple deals with an investor, and that's all it is. And then you just manage it for them. You're like, hey, I will handle talking to the borrower. I will handle talking to the title company. I will do all that work for you. All you have to do is just go, here's the money.
And is your money tied up for 3 to 5 years for a fund?
Nope. You can do it for 6, 8 months, a year. That's the greatest thing about private money lending is it's so flexible. It's it's the most flexible thing you can do in real estate. Yeah. Real estate's the most flexible investment ever because you win in so many ways and there's so many ways to get in. But private money lending is it's just like this. It's like there's so many avenues to get in. People private money lend with business lines of credit. Like it's crazy.
It is crazy. Damn. Okay. And do you have to follow all the specific Security Exchange SEC guidelines when you're doing a fund? Like, you can't post it on social media or anything like that? Like, is there a lot of restrictions you have to follow?
Yeah, and that's something like I'm learning about is like what you have to do. Like, so again, you do have more flexibility with than like if you're a bank. But yeah, you don't post interest rates on social media. Like you just with private money lending in general, you don't broadcast how much you make. You just say, "Hey, I'm looking for an investor on this deal." That's like what everyone says. So there's like certain guidelines that you do have to follow with that. And then I am learning more of like the other SEC guidelines that you need to follow. Like I said, I just made the decision that I'm going to do funds like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Let's go.
So that's the next venture. So I actually have a lunch next week with a person who does funds, and they're going to teach me about like how to set it up and how all this stuff. So I'm so excited about this.
Do you know how much goes into it? I'm sure you have to do a bunch of legal fees and it's getting all this document set up. Like how much do you actually have to invest in order to start a fund?
Yeah, someone told me that they invested about 10 grand into starting a fund. I don't really know if that's true, but I also know I can do it for cheaper because one thing is I'm so big on connections. I spent so much time through my investing career forming connections that there's a lot of stuff I'm never gonna have to pay for to do. Like on the setup piece, because I've made sure I've gotten really good with attorneys that'll do things for me for free. Cause they're like, hey, like you brought me so much business. I don't mind doing this for free. I don't have any origination fees on my private money loans. That's why people like, if I'm their lender and they want me to do the documents, I don't have any origination fees because the people who write the documents for me do it for free because I've given them so much business. So like, I think I'll cut that down significantly to start a fund.
Okay.
I don't think I'll spend more than like $1,000 to $2,000.
Damn, that sounds awesome. What's the fund going to be called?
I don't know. I kind of want like I'll just probably just call it Invest with Darius. Like keep it the same. The name that I like, but I don't think I use it because I don't like using the words lending so much. Is I wanted to call it Lend with Me, LWM. I just think it would look cool.
Yeah.
Like I wrote it down and I was like, this would be a cool hat. But I don't think I can call it Lend with Me. So maybe I'll call it like Fun with Me.
Okay.
Like I think that'll be like Fun with Me. I think it's kind of catchy.
Yeah. 100%.
Or that I'll just chat GPT the shit out of it to find out a cool name. I was like, because I hate my Instagram name, Invest with Darius. I hate it. I just
really?
I did it because I was like, I just need to make. My wife was like, you need to make a real estate page. So I just made it, and then I was like, I don't know the name, and I'm not a patient person, so I was like, all right, Invest with Darius. Here we go.
Love it, man.
I've been wanting to change it for years, but now that it's like caught on, I was like, I can't change it.
I don't think you can. It's just like solely like lattes and leases. You can't get rid of it now at this point.
Yeah, she's like, I want to change their name. I was like, no, you don't. I was like, you don't see Coca-Cola changing their name. Like I was like, it's Coca-Cola or Coke. Like that's it.
100%, man. So you got this vision for the fund. Anything else that you're most looking forward to in the next couple of years?
Honestly, it's the reason I want to do a fund and do all this stuff is I want to be a passive investor because I love to travel and I just want to travel. Like I want to be able, most of the funniest things, every time I'm on vacation, I've been paid on a private money loan. So it's been really cool. So I'm like, I need to just vacation more because I make money when I go on vacation traveling is like my number one hobby. I travel a lot. And so I just want to be able to be like, let's hop on a plane and let's go somewhere. Like the fact that we just went to Dubai and I flew first class Emirates, that ticket, it was $9,000, but we got it for a deal because my wife is so good with points and miles and stuff. But that ticket normally costs like almost 20 grand.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like to be able to have those experiences, this is why I want to do it. Like we don't get to live on this earth that long.
Yep.
And so it's like, and you're no days guaranteed. So like, I just want to say by the time that your clock is up, I got to see the world and I had money to do it. Like that. And that's literally my only motivation it's just, I want to travel the world and live my life on my terms.
And just meet incredible people and just keep building connections like you're doing, man.
Dude, it's amazing. Like I said, like this stuff is so fun. Like the fact that you and I get to do this is like better than any other thing that I've done in my life. Like I have so much fun doing this stuff.
Yeah, it fires me up, man.
You meet awesome people. The real estate world is amazing.
It's amazing, very small world, and everyone is so giving. Everyone that I've met is just always like, give unconditionally. Here's my number. They'll connect you with anyone else.
Yes.
Everyone wants you to win, which I love.
It's the most collaborative community I've ever seen. Like I've been a part of a lot of communities in other niches outside of real estate, and they're not like this. Like you can go, like I said, I was at Bigger Pockets and I was speaking, and I'm like, I'm the most underaccomplished person here, and like with these speakers. And then they're like, dude, you're killing it. And I'm like, you have 130 freaking properties. I was like, what do you mean I'm killing it? They're like, dude, you're killing it. And they're like, this is what you can do more. And I'm like, what? And they're just openly like, here, let's do this. They're like, hey, meet me at this bar. Let's have drinks. Let's talk about what you can do. Not asking to sign up for a course, not asking to do this, like just giving you information. It's very collaborative.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, Darius, I appreciate you coming on. You've been giving so much knowledge and dropping bombs for everyone. I really appreciate you. How can people get a hold of you?
Dude, just hit me up on Instagram. I'm on Instagram every day. Invest with Darius. So that's literally the best place to reach out to me. It is my soul of my business. Reach out to me there. And from there, I just give you all my social, like all my information. Not my social security number though, but pretty much everything else.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you guys. If you guys can do me a favor, please, if you found any value from today's episode, please give a thumbs up, 5-star review, follow Darius. And yeah, we'll keep dropping knowledge. As always, guys, keep growing, keep taking action. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
See you guys.